before I just press play on this video, I really just tripped out because I'm trying to get my timeline straight for when I went to Costa Rica, and it's like throwing me off because it feels like it was so recent and it's affected my life so much, and I think about it every single day that it feels like it happened yesterday. But it was actually a year and a half ago now. Well, a year and a half ago is when I first left. And at that time I was 19. I'm 21 now, so it was a while. It was a while ago. So what this video is going to be about, obviously, I'm talking about Costa Rica. It's why did I go out there? What was I thinking about when making my decisions on choosing that country specifically? How did I do it? And all that. So I guess I'll start with a little bit of where I'm at right now, because like I said, I'm 21. I'm in my 4th year of college, and I went to Costa Rica for my 3rd year. Yes, for my 3rd year of college. So fall semester and spring semester, which was 2016 going into 2017, right before summer, right? Okay, so that we're all on the same page. And now I'm in my senior year. I finished last semester, so I have one more semester left until I graduate. So that's happening. But so a little bit more background is I grew up in LA area, so there was always a very present Latin vibe and a very colorful, eccentric, just like, that atmosphere is there. It's very diverse, very cultural in LA, and that's one of our privileges that a lot of Los Angels don't get to I don't know, really fully grasp until you leave. Like, because I moved out here to Chico, California, where like everyone's white, so it really puts you into perspective. Like if you're from a place like the Bay Area or New York even, or like Miami, any major city, there's so many cultures there, and it's probably it becomes normal to you. But when you leave and go to a place where it's predominantly anything else, you really start to like realize, and that's what I realized. But and it makes sense though, because when I was younger, there was so much Spanish. Like, there's all types of cultures, but there's so much Spanish, and specifically there was Mexican heritage and Mexican culture. The food, I had a lot of Mexican friends, like at the high schools and middle schools, and middle in those schools that I went to. So I would go over their houses and stuff and meet their families, and always like Spanish. My mom's coworkers, like there's so much Spanish around me, and I took my first Spanish class was in 8th grade too, and even then, like, I remember just how I don't know exactly why. Like, it's just always been a calling. It's always just been so passionate. Like, I remember in all of my Spanish classes, I feel like those are the classes that were kind of harder to teach, because, or at least that's what my experience was. Like, the students wouldn't really want to pay attention, or I had a really weird experience with Spanish teachers. Like, they're all kind of like, they weren't very like strict. Okay, like, we're gonna learn this right now. Like, they were very go with the flow type, and so we didn't get much done if the students didn't want to, because they would kind of run the show. And I'm over here just like, I was that student. Like, I really just wanted to learn like Spanish, and the idea of learning another language without even having to pay for it. Like, this person is literally trying to teach us how to communicate with an entire new like group of people that before you weren't even. Like, I don't know, it was just like a no-brainer that, like, yes, I have to learn Spanish. Like, I've always had that. But anyway, so obviously the passion was there. So, and I think I always knew, like, since high school, like, I'm going to go to a foreign country and I'm going to learn Spanish. Like, because I knew I was going to go to college. So if I go to college, obviously I have to study abroad, right? And it just so worked out that Chico State is number 2 in a country for sending, like, so many students out to different places in the world, because we have such a great study abroad program. So if you're looking for a place to go, I would totally recommend Chico State. It's in Northern California, and it's very affordable. That whole diversity thing is a little lacking, but there's so many resources for you if you are in any marginalized community or group. There's so much support for you in that realm. but moving on. So the passion was there, which is why I knew I would go. The school, there's tabling. So like on campus, you'll have just people out there with a big logo that says Chico State, study abroad, or like go this place, go that place. And so it was very accessible. Like people know that there's study abroad opportunities. And so not only were there study abroad opportunities, but they're pretty affordable. Like to go to another country, like Costa Rica, for example, I think it was probably like a few thousand. It was not that much more than if I would have stayed in the country, like at my home university. So I'm like, oh, that's amazing. Like it was very affordable. And then you get there's scholarships too that you can get. And so with the study abroad programs though, so I knew I wanted to study Spanish. It wasn't for sure that it was Costa Rica just yet, but there was like Cuba, but I think Cuba was only like a winter or spring session, and I wanted to do a full semester at the time. I eventually ended up staying for an entire year because of Costa Rica. I fell in love with it once I was there, but I only wanted to go for a semester somewhere. I was thinking Mexico. I wasn't really thinking Spain because I just hadn't had no interest at all in going to Europe. And so it was either like Costa Rica, Spain, Cuba, and I think like Argentina or somewhere where it's so like whitewashed. And I didn't like, I knew what I wanted out of my experience. Like not exactly, but I knew I wanted to be in more of a humble type of environment where people had they had a little bit less, and Costa Rica is obviously known as such a happy country. So the people have less and they're still happy. And I think that's something that I needed to learn within myself. Unconsciously, I probably knew this, or subconsciously, I probably knew this. And because in LA and in California and in the United States in general, it's a very material type of place. It's very consumeristic. It's very like, you need all these external things. And I know that I have some of those traits within me that I'm working on becoming more aware of, so that because I don't need, because when I went out there, for example, I didn't even bring that much luggage. The first semester specifically, I did not bring that much stuff. And at first I was going crazy because I'm like, oh my gosh, because I was under the impression that, okay, so I don't want to stand out. Like, you see, like, what I'm wearing, right? I have eccentric stuff on all the time. So, like, I brought the most boring clothes. Like, I didn't have any jewelry. I left all my rings, I didn't bring any jewelry at all. I had my nose piercing, but, I brought only blacks and dark blues, like, grays, browns, stuff that I never wear. Like I'm always in colors. And so that hit me hard when I got there, and I realized, oh my gosh, people dress normal, like people they just dress however. And I was so disappointed. I'm like, where are my clothes? Like, because I'm so into fashion. So I was low-key going crazy because I couldn't express myself. And I express myself a lot through, like what I'm wearing. And it literally makes me feel good. And I wasn't able to do that there. So I would go to the thrift store, and they call it Ropa Americana. And there's literally just thrift stores with American clothes. And so I stocked up on some more colors, basically. Like, all my stuff I got was so colorful. I'm like, I'm not about to be a gray blob. Like, what is going on? And so, I don't know how I got on that tangent, but yeah, so basically my school made it really easy for me. And Costa Rica, oh, right. So Costa Rica I decided on Costa Rica because it was not that much, like to go to Spain, for example, would have been a lot more expensive. Costa Rica was a cheaper route. I almost went to Mexico because Mexico was even cheaper, but I'm like, oh, I've already been to Mexico, even though I was a kid when I went. I kind of just wanted something like even more different, that I have no idea what it's like. Because I mean, my only perception going into Costa Rica was that it was like people are just very, because they have their phrase pura vida, which means it's like it's a pure life, like everything's all good, todo bien, like it's you work with what you have, and you remain gracious, and you remain grateful for the simple things in life. And so that I was just like, yeah, well, the people just seem like they're like that, and that interests me. And so that's why I went out there. And then also my really good friend well, even from now, but we met in like middle school. During high school, she went on a trip out there for like a week or two or something. Like, got me back a really cool patch souvenir, and some other stuff too. And it was just so cool that she had went there. Like, I remember being so curious about it. Like, how was it? And she told me, she was just telling me some stories about what she would do, and it's, that stuck with me. Like, that really stuck with me. So I think that also influenced my choice to go there. I didn't do too much looking up of Costa Rica, honestly. Like, I like going into situations and allowing there to be kind of like a mysterious kind of surprise aspect and element to it. Like, I enjoy that because I don't want to, like, I don't want to know completely. Like, I'm going to prepare myself to the best of my ability, but I don't need to know like the extras. Like, people are asking, oh, what are we doing on this date? Like, it'll happen when it happens. That's kind of how I went into it. And I'm really grateful that I have that mindset, because it lets go of a lot of just stuff that doesn't really like need to be there for me, I guess. But yeah, so I can't really think of it. Yeah, I got some scholarships to go to Costa Rica. That's how I was able to afford it. And so some people, like, when I was there, a lot of the Costa Ricans, they would ask me, like, how are you able to, like, don't you miss your family, And I'm like, I wasn't like too close to my family or anything, so it was easy for me to kind of just like get up and go and not like look back, like, not miss or attach to anything. So I had that privilege. Like, some people would say that that's the worst thing ever, like not being close to your family or whatever, but for me, I saw it as an advantage because it allowed me to go to a far place for a year. Like, originally it was just a semester, but it became a year, and despite that time difference, I was thriving. I mean, I'm still thriving, but like, I didn't know that it just completely transformed me. It transformed me beyond what I could have even like imagined, like, it's just that it's just nothing but God. Like, it's just that pure love that when you allow yourself to just open up and accept it and receive it, like, and allow it into your life, like, that was just every single day in Costa Rica. Like, I went into every single day like anything could happen. It's new possibilities, new people, like, and every single day was just like really amazing. I could literally cry right now because yeah. It was an amazing experience, and I think about it every day, and like, I owe so much to Costa Rica because I found my passion. I found the things that I really, really, truly enjoy, that truly make me happy. I learned so much about myself. I learned so much about other people. I learned a lot about money. I learned a lot about manifesting, and definitely became more aware of like being a spiritual being in that in this realm. And the people in Costa Rica, they're also aware of that, and that helped a lot. Being surrounded with people that are just not in their ego very much. So if any of you have questions, because I'm full of information, I just don't know what to talk about anymore. But that's a little bit about what I did and what went on out there. So yeah, let me know if you have questions. I can make these videos. I obviously talk a lot. I hope it's sort of relevant. Okay, I'm just gonna end this video now. Subscribe, like, comment, engage, and let's grow. What?